go off campus today? Demerent Subway. Demerent Subway. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Fidel Castro? I thought I noticed you with that black Cheeto mustache. Very funny. Fidel, is that you? Yes. Don't listen to that man, Betty. George, that's you. Where's your dentures? Don't listen to that man who can't even take care of his own teeth. Don't listen to that man who's the wannabe King Jong-un. Quiet, gray-haired cherry picker. Who should I listen to? This guy or this guy? I built a nation, and what did you do, lad? Instead of becoming the president for 4 years, I was the president of Cuba for life. At least I'm not a communist. Oh yeah? Well, my country is an egalitarian society. Guys, stop arguing. Should I go or not? Stay at school. Go, your freedoms outweigh the rules. You have a whole cafeteria to choose from. The calf costs the same amount as my meals combined and it tastes like feces. Good point, George, but the rules do say I should stay at school. No good things ever come without taking chances. Hashtag YOLO. Well, are you willing to suffer the consequences of your actions? If you rally up a group that is greater than half of school, then you will force them to reconsider the rules. Well, as much as that does sound like a good idea, I'm still having trouble deciding on which is the right decision. Well, we can both give you our side of stories and help you decide what you should do. This is the first time I'll ever agree with you on anything, Fidel. That sounds like a great idea. Who's going to start? You can, George. Very well, sir. It took part in the American Revolution, and was the leader. Psh, I did way more than that. Fidel, let him finish, please. No, you took everyone's money and distributed to them like a coward. And you caused many deaths in your war. Look what it has done in the long run. I built a government which is successful and works like a charm. You did not build the government, you were involved in it. Fidel, let's hear your side. Okay, well, I'll start in 1952 when General Bautista took over Cuba. What happened next? I was infuriated, so I allied with many rebels around Cuba, and also a man named Che Guevara. I led several assaults against Bautista and his army, which were unsuccessful. Big whoop. Quiet, George, I was imprisoned. From what I heard, you were sentenced for 15 years, but Bautista let you out in 2 to show superiority. You should have just been shot and killed and the whole world would have been benefited from it. Well, then democracy would have never been created and we would all be goddamn communists. Like scrap. please fight so I can make a decision who wins this fight. Just kidding, do not fight. We shall scrap with words. I think I would eat off campus, but how will we put this off, George? What are the pros and cons? I know the pros. I have the cons. One pro is better food. One con is suspension or expulsion. Another pro is that it's cheaper. Well, there's no equality for the students who don't have cars or enough money, so campus. So Betty, how do you think the students will feel when they see you with your subway, huh? Well, there's already inequalities such as only 9th and 10th graders have MPX. So you just have to wait for your turn to become sophomore, junior, or senior. Plus, if you attend an impact and you have enough money to buy lunch, you can always walk to Manoa Marketplace. If you cannot go off campus and you really want something, then you should get it before or after school. That cafe variety isn't that good because you have the same options every day for 4 years that just rotate. Plus, you have the choice to buy healthier foods. Well, how many different flavors of ice cream do you need? There's a huge selection from the cafeteria. Fidel, I like your thinking, and how it would be unfair to others. However, George, I agree with your pros because there are going to be some kids who can't go. George, the pros outweigh the cons. Plus, Fidel, all your cons do not exist once the school changes the rules to allow eating off campus. Yes, of course, freedom. Think of expulsion. So much going through my mind. Fidel, my enemy, there are certain rules that have to be re-looked at. Do you think the laws of the United States have been the same for over 200 years? That was 200 plus years ago, George. There's something called retaliation. I think I'll just go off campus for lunch. Betty, it's you against the school's government, so let's say the rules get changed. How will we manage who goes off campus, and when or if they will come back, and all that stuff that comes with changing the rules? True, but George, you can help me with these, right? Well, there are about 4 major things that we need to address. First is grade levels that get to go off. Second, consequences for the student who not return. Liability for who do go off campus if they would be safe. And what are the standards for you to go off campus? Yes, that I'd correct. So how are you going to account for this, George? For what grade levels get to go on and off, I would like to address that only sophomore, juniors, and seniors. Well, I'm a sophomore, so I would be able to go off. Yes! Seems reasonable enough that you need to be mature enough to go off campus. Next, for the consequences, you have 15 minutes once the next period starts. If you're late back within 15 minutes, you have a second chance. But if you blow your second chance, come back later than 15 minutes, you do not come back at all, you lose your freedom to eat lunch off campus for that semester. What if you're kidnapped or endangered? That leads to my next point, Betty, which is liability and safety, which is our main focus. The students should trust their students to be able to look out for themselves. But if the student feels uncomfortable or unsure about going off campus, then they should stay. What happens if one student isn't? What happens if a student gets hurt? Will students be in trouble, or will the school be responsible for their action? I think the students should be responsible for their actions and what they have done. I agree with you, Betty, but just to protect the school's liability, a waiver shall be signed to protect the school. How will you approach the school about this revolution? We will state that all that we have said. Duh. We need to somehow organize this and make it happen. Betty, what are the standards? The standards to go off campus shall be quite high. I agree, maybe like a 3.3 GPA or higher. Then they have to be a good student or at least 2 teacher recommendations saying they should be able to leave campus. Yeah, that sounds great. And they need to be okay to go off campus by their parent and sign that waiver paper. Well, I guess you guys have figured it all out, huh? Not bad, eh? It appears you can now leave the it appears that you can now leave Fidel since your opinion is no longer needed. I feel like I should side with you guys. However, I do not know how the school, what the school will think of this. The school will take her very seriously because she has good reason and is stepping up to the plate for what she believes in. Will they really take her seriously? They have to be cut. They have to. We will start a revolution, get other students on our side, help us fight this war. Give another reason. We are the students, and they at least need to consider a change to our cafeteria or accept our ways. How about I just leave because I see there's no win battle for me in this? Why are you being so negative? Why are you so against the idea of having freedom? Just join our side of the revolution. I cannot believe or side with you because I am a communist and I do not like how you Democrat people think. Please leave the premises, Fidel. I'll have him escorted out, Betty. No worries. I'm going to tell the MPI president and tell him what thinks about this. You go do that, Fidel, and let's see how that works out. I really hope this works out, George. It will not, and it will ruin the system and make other students feel lesser than others. We should propose to MPI and plan out our next move based on their responses. That sounds like a good idea, George.